Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Shall we start? Okay. So, yesterday before leaving, I gave you the introduction of essay 210. कौन सा बटन है इसमें से? Which one? First one, huh? Okay. ये बहुत आवाज करता है. Okay. So, we have done essay 210 started. What is the name of the standard? Agreeing to the. So yesterday we understood that this is one of the standard which will help you in understanding why we should tell our terms and conditions to the management. Is it to be told before acceptance or after acceptance? Why? So that we can avoid miscommunication or misunderstanding, fights and disagreements at the which stage? Later stage. Prevention is better than, right? Now who is drafting this letter? Auditor. To whom we are sending? Management. Or management के साथ साथ there is one more person called TCWG. If you remember, those charged with governance. What is the full form? Those charged with the basically the audit committee of the company is known as what? TCWG. And audit committee is always more powerful than what? Board of directors. ठीक है? तो we will send this letter. ये letter में लिखा क्या होगा? My scope, my role, responsibility and objective. Boss, starting me will clear it so that later on we don't want any kind of disagreements between me and what? Management. Did you get the point? Once the management will send you this letter back with their stamp, with their signature and acknowledgement, after that you will be eligible to accept the which letter? Appointment letter. तो याद रखना, appointment letter is never your starting point. Starting point is always what? Audit engagement letter. Standard number essay 210. First start writing the introduction of this standard. Put the heading S. हाँ अच्छा हमने नहीं लिखे क्या बेसिक प्रिंसिपल? एक भी नहीं लिखा. First put the heading basic principles governing an audit. How many? 9 we have done ना? जल्दी बताओ. 9 के 9 names. First one, integrity, objectivity, independence, confidentiality, skills and competence, work performed by others, audit planning, audit evidence, audit documentation, internal control system and accounting system, and last में conclusions and reporting. These all are known as what? Our basic principles governing an audit. Not working? Come. आधे काम मेरे को लग रहा है मेरे को सैलरी लेनी पड़ेगी इनसे. आधे काम तो मैं ही करता हूं इनके. अब ये कैसे पता चलेगा स्विच ऑन है या स्विच ऑफ है? हाँ स्विच ऑन. ओके सो टोटल हाउ मेनी प्रिंसिपल्स? 9. पुट द हेडिंग फर्स्ट वन. See, I will not make you write those principles which we have already discussed in qualities. So I will tell you refer over there. So first one, integrity, comma, objectivity and independence. Principle number 1, integrity, comma, objectivity and independence. And bracket में लिख लो इसके refer personal qualities of an auditor. Refer personal qualities of an auditor. Refer personal qualities of an auditor. Correct? Second one, confidentiality. Confidentiality. Under that again, refer personal qualities of an auditor. Additional points I will make you write. Refer personal qualities of an auditor. Now, under that write situations under which confidentiality can be compromised. Situations under which confidentiality can be compromised. Point number 1. When an auditor is also, point number 1, when an auditor is also a party to a case when an auditor is also a party to a case, right? Point number 2, when any inspection or investigation takes place, when any inspection or investigation takes place. Point number 3, when auditor's ethics provides so. When auditor's ethics provides so. When auditor's ethics provides so. Matlab your ethics are pushing you to go for. I told you yesterday, it can be the reason of public health and safety, terrorist financing. All these are the black marketing. All these are the areas where you need to not maintain confidentiality. You can break your silence, right? Third one, sorry, 3 are over. Fourth one, when peer review and quality review takes place. When peer review and quality review takes place. Peer review and quality review takes place. And one to you already know. Last one, with the prior permission of client. With the prior permission of client. Run. But can you take the illegal advantage of that confidential information? Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. नीचे लिख लो note. Auditor shall never take, write the note, auditor shall never take illegal advantage, shall never take illegal advantage of confidential information, shall never take illegal advantage of confidential information. Confidential information. Clear? Right? Now, next point. Skills and competence refer personal qualities. Skills and competence refer personal qualities. वहां पे हमने already mention करा हुआ था, ठीक है? Now, from now onwards, everyone we have to write work performed by others. Fourth principle. Work performed by others. 2 more standards have been added to your portion. I was going through the portion. 450, 400 series I told you, no, not there. 400 mein 450 has been added. And 600 mein 600, if you remember, I told you 600 and 620 are not there in your portion. Only 610 is there in your portion. So you have 600 also now. So it's good that some new standards you are going to do more in intermediate. It will put a less pressure in your CA final. ठीक है? What is the principle number 4? Work performed by others. इसके ब्रैकेट में लिख लो 600 series, 600 essay series, क्योंकि अपनी पूरी सीरीज इसके ऊपर ही है. 600 SA series, standards on auditing का series number 600. Clear under that, right? During the course of audit, point number 1. During the course of audit, comma, he uses work of staff. He uses work of staff, comma, branch auditors, comma, internal auditors, and experts, comma, full stop. It is auditor's responsibility, full stop, continue only. It is auditor's responsibility to direct, review, and supervise. It is auditor's responsibility to direct, review, and supervise their work. Direct, review, and supervise their work before making use of it. Correct? Direct, review, supervise their work before making use of it. Because he cannot escape, because he cannot escape from his responsibility. Because he cannot escape from his responsibility of expressing an opinion. From his responsibility of expressing an opinion. Correct? So this is what all about work performed by others. अब पूरा sentence पढ़ के देखो, you will get to know. Auditor uses the work of staff, branch auditors, internal auditors, and sometimes experts. So therefore it is his responsibility to direct, review, and supervise their work before making use of it, because he cannot escape from his responsibility for expressing an opinion. If those people will do something, who has to take the full blame? Auditor. You cannot say that no, I was using his work, so blame him. No, that person was selected by you only, so it is 100% whose responsibility? Auditor's responsibility. Next one please. Fifth one, audit planning. इसके ब्रैकेट में लिखेंगे SA 300. Audit planning. इसके ब्रैकेट में लिखना SA 300. This standard talks about planning only. Audit planning. Under that, right, point number 1. Before starting audit planning, SA 300, point number 1. Before starting audit, it is the duty of an auditor. It is the duty of an auditor. याद आ रहा है ये word? It is the duty of an auditor to acquire knowledge of client's business. It is the duty of an auditor to acquire knowledge of client's business. To acquire knowledge of client's business, comma, its internal controls, client's business, comma, its internal controls, and its environment. And its environment. Point number 2. Audit has to be strategized. Audit has to be strategized. Audit has to be strategized and well planned. Audit has to be strategized and well planned to complete it. To complete it efficiently. Do you remember 3 words? To complete it efficiently, effectively, and timely. To complete it efficiently, effectively, and what? Timely. Clear? Next, 6th principle, audit evidence. 6th principle, audit evidence. Under that, इसके ब्रैकेट में लिखो 500 essay series. The full 500 series is completely dedicated on this. 500 essay series. Point number 1. To support his conclusions and opinions, to support his conclusions and opinions, comma, auditor must collect. Can you please tell me the full sentence? Must collect sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to support his conclusions and opinions, comma, auditor must collect sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. Sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. Point number 2. It should be, point number 2, it should be quantity wise and quality wise. It should be quantity wise and quality wise sufficient and appropriate. It should be quantity wise and quality wise sufficient and appropriate. And third point, it also acts as a self-defensing tool. Correct है? अगर आपके पास proof है तो can you defend yourself? It also acts as a self-defensing tool. It also acts as a self-defensing tool. How many? 6 are over? 7. Audit documentation. ब्रैकेट में लिखेंगे SA 230. Audit documentation in the bracket SA 230. Under that, right? It includes auditors. It includes auditors. Under that, A point. It includes auditors' strategies, B point, planning, C point, evidences, D point, procedures, E point, techniques which he has used and performed during the course of audit. Which he has used and performed during the course of audit. इसका assembling time बताओ. How many days? 60 days. Preservation time? And which standard tells us that? SQC1. Point number 2. Which auditor has used and performed during the course of audit? Sentence number 1 is over. Point number 2 now. Audit working paper file shall be assembled. Audit working paper file, इसे ऑडिट वर्किंग पेपर फाइल भी बोलते हैं, ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन भी बोलते हैं, different names. Audit working paper file shall be assembled within 60 days. Shall be assembled within 60 days and shall be preserved for 7 years. Shall be assembled within 60 days and shall be preserved for 7 years from the date of signing the audit report. Shall be preserved for 7 years from the date of signing audit report. From the date of signing audit report. Bracket में लिखो as per SQC1. As per SQC1. Everything clear? How many are over? 7. Only 2 more are there. 8. Internal control system and accounting system. Internal control system and accounting system. We are not going to write this. इसके ब्रैकेट में लिखेंगे रेफर चैप्टर रिस्क असेसमेंट एंड इंटरनल कंट्रोल. वहां पे अच्छे से डिफाइन करेंगे. इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम एंड अकाउंटिंग सिस्टम ब्रैकेट में लिख लो रेफर चैप्टर रिस्क असेसमेंट and internal control. When we'll start that chapter, we'll do it there. Okay? Refer chapter, risk assessment and internal control. Now, come to the ninth one. Conclusions and reporting. I hope you remember. How many types of reports do we have? What are the two types of reports? Which one is positive? Which one is negative? Modified में how many types of opinion? 3. Qualified, adverse, disclaimer. Unmodified में 1. We call it as clean. Clean का मतलब everything is true and fair. Do we have anything negative or nothing negative? But चिन्ना mistakes, चिन्ना unethical lapses, irregularities, minor in nature, due to which you can't give clean, you have to settle by giving what? Qualified. So qualified and clean are very similar. Only difference is one is better version of another, right? Then third one is what? Adverse. Adverse में आपको याद है? When everything is in agreement or disagreement, they are not following accounting standards. They are not preparing as per schedule number 3. Lot of disagreements between auditor and what? Management. There are lot of frauds and errors, and you have an evidence for the same. You have what? So what you would like to give? Adverse. Positive or negative? Negative. Disclaimer कब देते हम? When you are able to do the audit or unable to? Got the evidence or did not get the evidence? When they are allowing you to do something or not allowing you to do? So you are able to or unable to express. So you call it as disclaimer. Clear है? ये सब कुछ हम लोग यहाँ पे नहीं लिखेंगे. That was just for your what? Understanding purpose, because for that we have a separate dedicated chapter. Now full chapter पढ़ा अपने लिए. That the name of the chapter is known as audit reporting. What is the name? उस chapter में अपन करेंगे. ठीक है? Now put the heading conclusions and reporting. Simply 2 sentences में लिख लो. Point number 1. There are 2 types of audit reports. There are 2 types of audit reports. Hyphen. Unmodified and modified audit reports. There are 2 types of audit reports, unmodified, and second one is what? Modified. Unmodified and modified. Now point number 2. There are 4 types of conclusions or opinions. There are 4 types of conclusions or opinions. Hyphen. Clean, comma, qualified, comma, adverse, and disclaimer of opinion. Clean, qualified, adverse, and disclaimer of opinion. समझ में आ गया? इसको अपन डिटेल में वही लिखेंगे जहां पे it is required. Remember, there are so many chapters which will cross refer to each other. But we should always give a respect to that due chapter wherever it is being given. वहां पे 100% clarified and full-fledged manner में will write, right? Okay, so coming back to the standard which we started yesterday, the name of the standard was SA 210, agreeing to the initial audit engagement terms. अब मैं पहले तुम्हें standard समझा देता हूं पूरा. Let's finish off this standard. If the time will allow, we'll make a note of it. ठीक है? Yesterday I gave you the meaning of this standard. Ki it's better that prevention is better than what? Cure. We should send this letter by the auditor to the home management, defining my terms and conditions in the following manner: scope, role, responsibility, objective. Did you get the point? Now the second thing what you need to understand that कि sir ये audit engagement letter logically answer बताना. Audit engagement letter, do you think that it is required in case of statutory audits or non-statutory audits? Think and then give me the answer. तुम्हें क्या लगता है कि statutory में चाहिए, non-statutory चाहिए या दोनों में चाहिए? It is required in both. but it is more required in non-statutory audits. It is more required in. I knew that in this area you will give me a wrong answer. Reason being very simple. Let me tell you one thing. Suppose company audit is an example of which audit? Statutory. Do you remember हमने किया था voluntary, mandatory, statutory and non-statutory? I made you write the difference as well. My question is very simple. Company audit is conducted under which act? Companies Act. Does that make it a statutory? Yes. अब मेरे को ये बताओ, company audit already has given my rights, powers, duties, scope, role, responsibility. Sometimes you don't need to tell this to the management because they are also governed under which act? Companies Act. So are they aware about my duties or not? They know that I am here for guarantee or only for opinion. So you don't have to tell that. I am not saying that not required. I am saying that if not required, no need to give it. Suppose if the management is unaware, they are not, or they are having some doubts relating to your scope, role, responsibility, then definitely you should send this letter. So I am nowhere saying that it is not at all required in case of what? Statutory. It is required in case of statutory audit, but comparatively to non-statutory audit, it is required what? Less. अब मैं तुम्हें एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल बताता हूँ नॉन स्टैट्यूटरी का. अच्छा, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल एक और एग्जांपल लेते हैं. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय बैंक ऑडिट? Is it under the Banking Regulation Act? Is it already defined in the BR Act that what I can do, what I can't do? I need not tell it to the bank. That is a bank's responsibility to read and learn what they can do with the auditor, what they can't do. Statutory audits mein, it is very rare that you will find the which letter? Audit engagement letter. It is mostly required in which one? Non-statutory audits. क्यों non-statutory audit में? Example लेते हैं, सिनेमा हॉल की audit. किसकी? अब सुनो, एक बंदा है who is the owner of cinema hall. तो he is hiring you. He is hiring you now and he is saying that Rohit, can you please come and do my audit? For the first time he is hiring you. Are you getting the point? Now मेरे को ये बताओ, cinema hall owner is getting the audit done for the first time. Does he know anything about audit? Is there any Indian Cinema Hall Act in India? Fair. That makes it a statutory or non-statutory. So is he aware or not aware? Can I say that he might be under the impression that auditor will come and he will give a guarantee? He might be under the impression or not. It is whose responsibility to clarify that confusion? Auditor. That's why we send this letter. He might be under the impression that the auditor will come, he will bring his full team, equipments, tools, technologies, everything. But do I need to make the use of your employees or not? He might not be aware of that. So who has to make him aware? Auditor. So where do you think that the need arises? Statutory or non-statutory? So what is our general conversation ka conclusion? It is required in both statutory as well as, but as compared to what? Statutory, it is required more in case of what? Non-statutory audit. अब जैसे let's say for example sole proprietor है, उसका टर्नओवर जैसे 1 करोड़ हुआ, is he going to get it audited for the first time? क्योंकि normal businesses के केस में I already told you that your business turnover should be more than 1 crore and professional turnover should be more than, then only you have to go for the audit or not. Now in this case, is he hiring me every year or first time? Is he having some confusions? Does he know about audit? No. So it is whose responsibility? Auditor. Again non-statutory. Are you understanding my conversation? So it is required more in case of what? Non-statutory audits as compared to what? But it is required in both. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Second question. Do we need it after commencement of the audit or before commencement? After commencement of the audit or before commencement? Before commencement. क्योंकि after commencement, do you have any right to withdraw? No, law does not allow you. So it's better to exchange this letter when? Before. So what are the two things we understood today? Tell me. What is the first thing we understood? It is required in both. What do you mean by both? Statutory as well as non-statutory. But where it is required more? Non-statutory audit mein it is required more as compared to what? Statutory audit. Is it clear? Second thing, when do we need to exchange it? Before commencement or after commencement? Sorry, before commencement of an audit. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? So when you write all these points, this is what do you mean by the term called what? Audit engagement letter. With that, our first topic is over of the standard called meaning of audit engagement letter. अब बताओ, if you have to write the full-fledged meaning, someone will ask you, define audit engagement letter or engagement letter, how you will write it. It is a letter which is drafted by whom? Auditor, on his letterhead, forwarded to the management and TCWG, defining his terms and conditions in the form of scope, role, responsibility, objective. Point number 2. It is required in both the cases, statutory audits and non-statutory audit, but mostly required in case of what? Non-statutory audit in comparison with statutory audit. Third point, it is required to be exchanged when? What is the timing? Before commencement or after? Before commencement. That is what do you mean by meaning. Second thing in this standard, बहुत छोटा सा standard है ये. Number of copies. What is the second topic? How many copies of this letter you have to make it? ध्यान रखना, हमेशा याद रख लो, whenever you are communicating something with your client, always remember it should be duplicate copies. Which copies? What do you mean by duplicate? 2 copies. Both who will prepare? Auditor. And will send it to whom? Management. Let the management keep the 1 copy. Management को एक copy रखने दो. Another copy management shall send back to whom? Auditor. और वो copy के ऊपर I need signature of the management, stamp of the management, acknowledgement of the management. What are the 3 things I need? Signature, stamp, acknowledgement. अब बताओ, 1 copy they kept, another copy they are sending it back to whom? Auditor. This copy will be my first document in my audit documentation file. This will be my first document. Now please tell me, in future if any fight will take place between me and management, will I be able to defend myself? What will I defend? Ki, sir, you only understood my terms and condition. You only signed, you only stamped, you only what? Acknowledge. Now can they escape from their signature or they can't escape? This is the reason we need evidence. अब बताओ, ये evidence है या नहीं है? Yes. अब समझ में आया ये evidence, documentation, why they are important? That's why they are called basic principles governing an audit. ये वो basic चीजें हैं जो आपको audit में collect करनी है, retain करनी है. What to be collected? Evidence. What to be retained? Documents. For how long? 7 years. अब मान लो 3-4 years के बाद उन्होंने आ गया, रोहित, I didn't tell you to do this, you did it on your own. Will I be able to defend again? क्योंकि in my office it is kept for how many years? 7 years. Did you get the point? So what is the moral of the story? How many copies? Both will be prepared by, both will be sent to, one will be kept by the, one will be returned back to, who returns it? Management. Duly signed, duly stamped and duly acknowledged, and will be kept in my 230. Will be kept in my 230. What is 230? Audit documentation 5. Defending as a tool. Are you getting the point or not? और इसका एक और एडवांटेज है. Please tell me, you, अच्छा, तुम्हारा लॉ में कौन सा चैप्टर चल रहा है अभी? Audit and auditor start नहीं हुआ. You will come to know that कि one chartered accountant in practice, when he works for a client company, he works for 5 years continuously. How many? उसे हम लोग rotation of auditors बोलते हैं. What do we call it as? तो you are getting appointed for how many years? 5 years. ध्यान से सुनना जो मैं तुम्हें बोल रहा हूं. 5 years में do I have to send this letter again and again? Logically सोच के बताना. Do I have to send this letter every year? Only in the beginning. क्योंकि every year I don't have to speak about my scope, terms, responsibility, role. Once I will send it, it is not required to be sent again and again. तो moral of the story is how many copies? 2 copies. यहां तक समझ में आ गया? तो we understood the 2 things: meaning of audit engagement letter and number of copies of audit engagement letter. How many? 2. Third topic, ये बहुत छोटा सा टॉपिक है. Third topic, please tell me what is the purpose of this audit engagement letter. इसका पर्पस क्या है? अब मैं बताता हूं इसका पर्पस क्या है. ध्यान से सुनना. इसके 2 पर्पस हैं. How many? 2. One is called informative purpose and one is called confirmative purpose. What are the 2 purposes? Confirmative. ध्यान से बताओ. First let's wind up the second one. What is the second one? Confirming. Who are confirming to whose terms and conditions? auditor is conforming to management's terms and condition, and management is conforming to auditor's terms and condition. This is what I wanted to clarify right away, right now. It is not just that ki you are a boss. Not only your terms and conditions management will listen. You will also listen and approve whom? Management sir. इसलिए अब पढ़ो स्टैंडर्ड का नाम क्या था? क्या मैंने कहीं पे भी लिखा कि अग्रीइंग टू ऑडिटर्स टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन? क्या लिखा हुआ है पॉइंट? अग्रीइंग टू इनिशियल ऑडिट एंगेजमेंट टर्म, दे विल अंडरस्टैंड माय टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस एंड आई विल अंडरस्टैंड देयर टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस. इसीलिए इसे कंफर्मेटिव पर्पस बोलते हैं. व्हाट डू वी कॉल इट एज? अच्छा सोच के बताओ. द वर्ड कंफर्मेटिव केम फ्रॉम द विच वर्ड? कंफर्मेशन. Who is conforming to my terms and condition? Management. And who is conforming to management terms and condition? So it's a letter which is made by the auditor. But if the management is sending me some terms and condition, and if I think that according to me their terms and conditions are reasonable, I will also what? Agree to that. So it is an agreement between one party or both the parties. So they are conforming to each other's terms and condition. Did you understand the first purpose? So who is confirming whose? Auditor confirming management and management confirming auditors. This is a proof that we both agreed to each other terms and condition. 100% clarity. अब आता है मेन पार्ट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, ध्यान से सुनना. सर ये लेटर के अंदर होगा क्या? What will be inside this letter? Remember, as per SA 200, this letter must contain two types of information. One is called must information and one is called may information. What do you mean by must and may? Must matlab compulsory information and may matlab it depends upon the auditor whether he wants to include that or not. Let's understand total there are 10. How many? 10. 7 comes under must and 3 comes under may. And I'll tell you everything with logic also why it is may. First let us finish off the first one. May, must wala. Must may 4 you already know. Scope, role, responsibility, objective. अब बताओ इन तीनों का मतलब, चारों का मतलब बताओ. स्कोप मतलब क्या? My limits, what I can, what I can't cross, right? Point number 1. Point number 2, role. Am I internal or external? External. What is the third one? Am I here for opinion or guarantee? Opinion. What is the last one? My focus is only on what? Financial statement, not on any other thing. So once you define this, you have to give the 3 declarations. How many? 3. So 3 plus 4 makes it to what? 7. Declarations. What is the 5th point I am writing? But I am going to write 3 declarations here. Declaration number A. Boss, audit is not a what? Guarantee. It is only EOO. What is EOO? Expression of opinion. ये आपको लिख के बेचना है. Sir, even if it is a company, then also we have to write yes. Either it is a company or a non-company. It is a cinema hall or a hospital or everything. You have to write it. Sir, they might be knowing it. No, don't take the chance. You write it very clearly in very simple words. Ki audit is not about expressing what? Guarantee. It is all about expressing what? Opinion. Declaration number 1. Tell me the 5 now. Scope, role, responsibility, and a declaration that audit is not about guarantee, it is about expression of. Declaration number 2, I may use your employees, I may use your internal auditor, I may use your branch auditor, in case need arises, I may use whom? Experts. तो उसको ये क्लियर कर दो कि be ready with your employees, be ready with the information and explanation which I will ask you, be ready with your internal auditor, be ready with your branch auditor, and in case need arises, I can also bring my what? Expert. तो पहले सॉर्ट कर दो, बाद में उसको फाइट नहीं चाहिए. सपोज आई ब्रॉट माई एक्सपर्ट वन डे एंड ही इज फाइटिंग विद मी. रोहित, तो यू तो डिडंट टेल दैट यू विल ब्रिंग समवन आउटसाइडर. मैंने कहा नो, ही इज नॉट आउटसाइडर, ही इज माय. नो नो नो, ही इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ योर टीम. डू आई वांट दिस काइंड ऑफ डिसएग्रीमेंट्स और आई डोंट वांट? तो पहले रिटर्न में डिक्लेयर कर दो व्हाट आर द 4 थिंग्स आई मे यूज. योर स्टाफ एंड एम्प्लॉइज, योर इंटरनल ऑडिटर, योर ब्रांच ऑडिटर, एंड इन केस नीड अराइजेस आई मे ब्रिंग माय व्हाट? एक्सपर्ट. पहले क्लियर कर दो. नो फाइट इज रिक्वायर्ड इन द फ्यूचर. एंड द थर्ड डिक्लेरेशन कि बॉस, आई मे गिव Which two reports? Modified or unmodified? Don't expect me कि you are giving me a audit fees that I will definitely give a positive. कई बार expectation over हो जाती है. Suppose the client may expect that okay, I am hiring Rohit, so Rohit will definitely give me positive opinion. Is it so? Can I give? Is my opinion based upon my fees or based upon the work culture and environment of my client? Financial statements of my client. If they are good, I may give you what? Unmodified report, and if they are not good, I will definitely will give you what? So don't expect that you are giving me a fees. I'm not taking salary. अब बताओ मेरे को फीस और सैलरी में डिफरेंस. सैलरी आपको मंथली दी जाती है. ये मंथली है, ईयरली है. भाई रखना है तो रख, नहीं रखना तो टर्न अराउंड पो. आई एम नॉट हियर फॉर गिविंग यू ऑलवेज अ विच ओपिनियन. बटरिंग कौन करते हैं? एम्प्लॉयज. आई एम नॉट योर ब्लडी एम्प्लॉय. आई मे गिव यू पॉजिटिव रिपोर्ट, आई मे गिव यू. That depends upon what you will show me. Am I correct? So these are the 7 things which comes under must. Tell me the 7 things. Scope, role, responsibility, objective, a declaration that it is not a guarantee, it is only an expression of opinion. Next one, I may use your employee, internal auditor, branch auditor, experts, and boss, I may give you the modified or unmodified. ये सारी होगी मस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन. अब आते हैं मे के ऊपर कि व्हाट एडिशनली आई कैन ऐड इन माय लेटर. पॉइंट नंबर 1, प्लानिंग. आई मे डिस्कस माय प्लानिंग इन माय लेटर. दैट इज ऑप्शनल, दैट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी, दैट इज व्हाट? ऑप्शनल. इसलिए मैं यहां पे लिख देता हूं दिस इज व्हाट? ऑप्शनल एंड द अदर साइड इज व्हाट? मैंडेटरी. नाउ I will ask you a very simplified question and don't complex while giving it an answer. Think logically before answering. Should I discuss my plan with my client? बहुत सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूं. Think like a chartered accountant. And मैंने आपको पहले बोला था CA सब्जेक्ट, ये ऑडिटिंग सब्जेक्ट इज कंप्लीटली अ प्रैक्टिकल एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशनल सब्जेक्ट. मेरे को आंसर बताओ. Should I discuss or I should never discuss? इसका आंसर है may. You may discuss. What to discuss, what not to discuss, that depends upon whose judgment? Auditor. चलो मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूं प्रैक्टिकली. Should I discuss with my client that I will come from 10 to 2 daily? Yes or no? टाइमिंग तो डिस्कस करनी पड़ेगी. But what I'm going to do in that 10 to 2, should I discuss that? No. So what to discuss, what not to discuss is dependent upon professional judgment of an auditor. क्या आप उसे ये डिस्कस करोगे कि आप क्या करने वाले हो? नो. बस ये डिस्कस करो कि मैं ये टाइम पे आऊंगा, so that he can keep the assistance ready for me. Am I correct or not? But never discuss what you are going to do during that time. Am I correct, Amma? Yes or no, sir? अब मेरे को बताओ, should I tell him then कि today I will check sales or to? If you will tell everything, your surprise element will be what? 0, and your audit will become predictable. Audit will become what? It means you will not be able to see what you want to see, you will be seeing what he wants you to see. Did you understand? Repeat. You will not be able to see what you want to see, you will be able to see only what he wants you to see. अब समझ में आ रहा है? इसलिए never make your audit predictable. And everything should not be disclosed. What to disclose, what not to disclose in your planning, that you should decide. आपको अपना ऑडिट इफेक्टिवली करना है तो decide and discuss only minor things. Do not discuss what? Major things. Otherwise your audit will become ineffective. अब समझ में आया इसे must में क्यों नहीं रखा? Why we kept it in may? You may discuss. तुम्हारी मर्जी है. नहीं तो एक दिन एक शाम पहले ही बोल दो उसे कि सर टुमारो 2 to 4 आएगा. टाइमिंग भी आपकी मर्जी है, डिस्कस करना है नहीं करना. डिड यू गेट द पॉइंट? 100% क्लैरिटी. ओके, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. स्केल ऑफ फीस. व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट वन? अब तुम सोच के देखो सर, फीस एंड रेम्युनरेशन इज समथिंग व्हिच डोंट डिस्कस इन पब्लिक. अब डिड आई एवर टेल यू दैट हाउ मच आई एम टेकिंग फ्रॉम लक्ष्य टू टेक योर बैच? डिड आई टेल यू? You can't ask me also. Even if you will ask me, I won't tell it. Are you getting? I won't say it. Reason being very simple. ये कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन होती है? Confidential, private इंफॉर्मेशन होती है थोड़ी. Are you getting the point or not? जैसे हम लोग अपने प्रोफेशन में पूछते हैं, you should never ask someone's salary. आपको पूछना नहीं चाहिए कि भाई तू कितना अर्न करता है, तुम्हें नजर लग जाती है। क्या लग जाती है? नजर। तो यहां पे भी यही है। अब सर स्केल ऑफ फीस, अब मैं तुम्हें बताता हूं ये मे में क्यों रखा गया। सी देर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ फीसेस, डोंट टेल टू एवरीवन, वन इज कॉल्ड ओवर द टेबल, वन इज कॉल्ड अंडर द टेबल। समझ में आ रहा थोड़ा? मतलब ऑन फेस विल से सर 1,50,000 2 lakhs, अंडर द टेबल थोड़ी बहुत 4 lakhs 5 lakhs 6 lakhs, ये दो तरह की फीस होती है। तो फीस इज बेसिकली अ प्राइवेट कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन whom and whom. So you may discuss, if you really want to be transparent, you may discuss. That's why we kept it in a which option? May discuss, may not. तुम्हारी choice है. Did you get it? Tell me the 9 points now. 7 must, scope, role, responsibility, objective. 3 declarations. I may give you modified or unmodified. I may use your people. I may bring an expert, and it is not a guarantee. It is only an expression of what 2 under may. Planning, you may discuss, may not discuss. Next one, last one is known as WRL. हम इसे अब मैं ना तुम्हें लेटर्स के बारे में बताता हूं। WRL का मतलब होता है रिटर्न रिप्रेजेंटेशन लेटर। व्हाट डू वी कॉल इट एज? रिटर्न रिप्रेजेंटेशन लेटर। ये अपन पढ़ेंगे essay 580 में। कहां पे पढ़ेंगे? 580 में। ध्यान से सुनना है इसे। सर रिटर्न रिप्रेजेंटेशन लेटर क्या होती है? जैसे ध्यान से सुनो, some situations पे you are unable to collect sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Means you are unable to collect means what? You tried but you failed to collect. जैसे say for example, I went to my client and said that I would like to visit your godown. Godown is located in Chennai और चेन्नई में floods आ गए। अब बताओ, is it looking practically possible or impractical now? To go there and do the audit, possible or not possible? In such situations, you will obtain WRL from the management. आप management को क्या request करो? Sir, I was unable to obtain the evidence on your inventory. आप अपना letterhead लो, उसके ऊपर लिख दो to Grover and Associates. This is to certify that our stock in the godown lying in Chennai is standing at a valuation of 40.5 crore rupees as on 31/3/2024. नीचे sign, stamp, acknowledgement करके मेरे को दे दो। अब बताओ, who is preparing this letter? Giving it to whom? This letter is representing whom? Management. Is it representing me or management? इसलिए इसका नाम क्या है? WRL. ये ओरल में है, रिटर्न में है? किसको रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है? मैनेजमेंट। और किस फॉर्म में है? लेटर की फॉर्म में। Who is giving this to whom? इसका एक और नाम है, अगर आपको लिखना तो इसे MRL भी बोल सकते हैं और इसे MC भी बोल सकते हैं। मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट, मैनेजमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेशन लेटर, WRL. Different names are there. But my question is, did you understand? So I may ask, I may not ask. This is a situation number 1. Situation number 2, जाते ही आपको ये लेटर लेनी है। क्या? कि preparation and presentation. Repeat. Of what? Financial statement is the prime responsibility of whom? Management. Repeat the whole sentence. Preparation and presentation of financial statement is the prime responsibility of management. What does that indicate? कि we prepared or we only examined? Preparation और present किसने करी? Management ने। अगर उसमें कोई गलती निकली तो किसका fault? Management। उसे भी WRL बोलते हैं। तो WRL collect करने के 2 situations है। Sometimes you don't get an evidence, then also you can collect the WRL. And the first thing you need to do when you start doing an audit is to collect what? WRL. जिसके अंदर क्या declaration होगी? Presentation and preparation of financial statement is a prime responsibility of. These are the 3 things which comes under what? May. And these are the 7 things which comes under what? Must. And this was the topic name. What was the topic name? अब बताओ। Purpose of audit engagement letter. अब बताओ, जैसे आपको सुनने में आएगा, what is the objective and purpose of this standard? So 2 purposes. Informative, confirmative. Informative word has come from the word called information. Confirmative come from the word called confirmation. Who is confirming whom? Both the parties are confirming to each other's terms and condition. Auditor to the management, 100%. Information. Information are of 2 types. Must information, may information. What comes under must? Scope, role, responsibility, objective, declaration. It is not a guarantee, it is only an opinion. I may use your employees, auditor, branch, may bring my expert, and I am not here for modified or unmodified. It depends upon situation. This is the must declaration. May के अंदर discussion of planning, discussion of scale of fees, and sometimes I may ask you what? WRF in case the need arises. 100% clarity. तो हमने क्या पढ़ लिया? Meaning, we understood number of copies, and we understood the purpose. Now the very important question, which is your November 2023 का question, is audit engagement letter recurring in nature? What in nature? What is the meaning of this question, please? क्या हमें ये लेटर अगेन एंड अगेन सेंड करना है? Every year or only once? So what is your answer? Answer is yes or no. But there are 8 exceptional situations under which this letter becomes what? Recurring. मतलब if these 8 points will come, you have to send this letter what? Again. Point number 1. Past experience with client. Which experience with client? ध्यान से सुनना. Last year when I sent this letter, am I appointed for how many years? 5 years. So first year when I sent this letter, so many disagreements came between me and my client. Do I want to repeat it? Should I send this letter again in a more understandable manner? Yes. So I had a good experience with the client or past experience? Your past experience with the client will make you understand that do you have to send this letter again or not. So what is the situation number 1? Past experience with the client. Situation number 2, ICAI announcements. What is the situation number 2? What do you mean by this? Suppose up to last year 700 series was old, and last year November में 700 series has been what? Revised. अब बताओ, should I report as for old series or new series? Who changed it? Do I need to tell this to my client also? Maybe some new requirements have come in the standard or not. So I have to send this letter what? Again, defining my terms and condition as per the revised manner. Which manner? Revised. So tell me the 2 situations. Past experience with the client and ICAI announcement. If there is a considerable change in management of the client, if there is a considerable change in, simple example, simple thought process. I was the auditor of Inox Cinemas. किसका? Inox Cinema. अभी तुम्हें पता होगा Inox has been taken over by whom? PVR. PVR ने उसे take over कर लिया. ध्यान से बताना. Last year तक which management I was talking to? Inox. This year? Now tell me, do they know my terms and conditions or they don't know? So do I have to send this letter again? Because of considerable change in. यहाँ पे main point है ये. What is this word? Consider. एक दो डायरेक्टर चेंज हुए, उससे हम चेंज ऑफ मैनेजमेंट नहीं बोलेंगे. Suppose Mr. A was there last year, he left, Mr. B came. That is not called change of management. But letter तो is with the same client only ना. But considerable का मतलब क्या? 1 or 2 directors or whole management? अब समझ में आ गया? Tell me the 3 points now. Are you understanding everything? First point is what? Past experience with the client. Second is what? I say announcement. Third one. Fourth one. If there is a change in, मैं 2 points को mix कर रहा हूं. If there is a change in nature, size and line of activity of client. What are the 3 points? क्लाइंट का नेचर ऑफ द एंटिटी चेंज हो गया, साइज ऑफ द एंटिटी चेंज हो गया, लाइन ऑफ एक्टिविटी चेंज हो गया. नेचर की बात करते हैं. माई क्लाइंट वॉज अ ट्रेडर ऑफ आयरन एंड स्टील. नाउ ही इज अ ट्रेडर एज वेल एज व्हाट? मैन्युफैक्चरर. अब बताओ, माई ऑडिट विल रिमेन सेम व्हाट आई डिड लास्ट ईयर और माई स्कोप, रोल, रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी विल चेंज. डू दिस डिजर्व अ रेकरिंग लेटर? यस. सेकेंड पॉइंट इज व्हाट? साइज. PVR Cinemas last year had 8 branches in Hyderabad. Now they have opened 10 more. Now 8 plus 10 total. My scope decreased or increased due to what? Size. line of activity got changed. मेरा client textile का client था. Suppose he started a cement business and shut down his which business? Textile. GST rate will change. Business also changed. Does this deserve a new letter? Yes. So what are the three things changed? Either nature or size or line out. So that also demands this letter to be sent again. So tell me the 4 points now. Past experience, I say announcements, considerable change in management, and change in nature, size, and line of activity. Now change in statutory requirements of client. Sir, what do you mean by statutory requirements of client? I will give you two examples, understand it. Suppose my client was a unlisted company last year. Which company? This year he turned from unlisted to, so last year I was doing the audit under which act? But this year I have to do the audit under SEBI Act. So my compliances, my audit techniques, procedures will remain same or it will differ? क्योंकि statutory requirements of the client got what? Changed. This is also the reason I have to send this letter what? Again. Did you get the point? Sixth point. If there is a change in reporting responsibilities of auditor. Which responsibilities? अब बताओ reporting responsibilities of the auditor का example. Okay. Last year my client was partnership firm. This year he converted into a company. बताओ last year मैं किसको report कर रहा था? Partners को. This year to the partners or to the users? Whose reporting responsibility changed? ध्यान से सोचो मेरा इंडिपेंडेंट ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट टू द क्या था लास्ट ईयर? टू द पार्टनर्स ऑफ एबीसी एंड को. बट दिस ईयर टू द मेंबर्स ऑफ एबीसी लिमिटेड. माय रिपोर्टिंग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रिमेन सेम और चेंज्ड. डज दिस डिजर्व अ न्यू लेटर? यस. एंड द लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, स्पेसिफिक चेंज इन टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन. ये बहुत रेयर होता है when you change some specific terms and condition. मतलब क्या? Say for example, up to last year I was doing the audit of my client, but this year the client grew in such a size that now he has kept joint auditors. Which auditors? What do you mean by joint auditors? Two auditors or more auditors for the same client. So am I working alone now or I am working along with another statutory auditor? Will there be change in terms and condition? Or you can simply say I want to increase my fees. Any example you can take. I want to increase my fees. Last year तक मैं 10 lakhs ले रहा था, इस साल से मेरे को 15 lakhs लेना है. So when there is a specific change in what? Terms and condition, then also this letter is required to be sent again. Otherwise, how the client will get communicated if you will not send this letter? So, if this question comes in the examination, is this letter recurring in nature? What is your overall answer? No. This letter generally is not recurring in nature, but there are total 8 exceptional circumstances under which this letter becomes what? Recurring in nature. Following are the situations. Situation number 1, past experience with the client. Situation number 2, situation number 3, considerable change in. Situation number 4 and 5 को हमने merge कर दिया. Nature, size, line of activity. Situation number 6, change in statutory requirements of the client. Situation number 7 is on me. Change in reporting responsibilities of auditor. And situation number 7, specific change in terms and ये situation आया तो this letter has to be sent what? Again. समझ में आ रहा पूरा स्टैंडर्ड? इजी लग रहा है? देखो स्टैंडर्ड्स को अपने को समझना नहीं है, कंज्यूम करना. फिर से बता रहा हूं, all this is possible that they may ask you in the examination. ये 8 points जो मैंने तुम्हें बताए 8 questions है, हिसाब से लगा लो कि they will draft a situation. ABC Limited was a company where Mr. X was a statutory auditor. He already signed the audit engagement letter in the year 1. In the year 3, ABC Limited got converted from unlisted to what? Listed. Is this letter required to be sent again? Yes. अब समझ में आ रहा है? उस केस में आपको आंसर कैसे लिखना पड़ेगा? As per essay 210, generally audit engagement letter is not recurring in nature, but there are 8 exceptional situations under which it becomes recurring. आप पूरे 8 के 8 points लिख के आओगे. After that you will write, as per the given situation, ABC Limited turned from unlisted company to listed company, which is nothing but changing the what statutory requirements of the client that demands this letter to be sent again. तो इसका मतलब हम आंसर लिख कैसे रहे हैं? पहले स्टैंडर्ड क्या बोल रहा है, फिर आपका क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है, और मैं क्या बोल रहा हूं. समझ में आया? What who is speaking? Standard. What your question? उसे बोलते हैं facts of the case. What do we call it as? And last में my conclusion. तो provision, facts, conclusion. This is how your answer should look like. इसे बोलते हैं perfect answer. तो मुंह उठा के नींद में कुछ भी लिखना शुरू कर देते हो. No, he is not allowed. Yes, he is allowed. ये he is not allowed. No, that's not a technical answer. What the ICA looks for. There where you lose the marks. तुम घर आते हो, ठीक है, तुम अपना क्वेश्चन पेपर सामने लेके बैठते हो. ये मैंने 70 में से फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो 58 60 अटेम्प्ट किया, 10 तो निकाल ही दो. फिर 60 में से अगर एवरी क्वेश्चन में आई गेट 3 आउट ऑफ 4, वो नहीं आते. वो तभी आएंगे जब आप टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज लिखोगे, द लैंग्वेज व्हिच आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू, राइट और नॉट, इन दैट वे ओनली. इसीलिए प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं 54, आते 34. डिफरेंस समझ में आ रहा है? ये 20 मार्क्स का डिफरेंस इज नॉट योर फॉल्ट. ये 20 मार्क्स का डिफरेंस इज योर लैंग्वेज फॉल्ट. विच फॉल्ट? लैंग्वेज. यू टेक एग्जाम्स वेरी कैजुअली. एक चीज सोचो दिमाग में, डू यू हैव टू इंप्रेस योरसेल्फ और इंप्रेस एग्जामिनर? Write answers from his point of view. What he is looking for in your answer. He wants to know, do you know the standard? Yes, I do know the standard. That's why first paragraph, provisions, what the standard says. Did you understand the question? Yes, I understood the question. Facts of the case. What is your answer if the company is doing this? Third para, my conclusion. इसे बोलते हैं answer. This is your presentation skills which you need to work upon. समझ में आ रहा है? जितने आप RTP पढ़ सकते हो, जितने आप MTP कर सकते हो, जितने यहां के टेस्ट दे सकते हो, यू शुड गिव, क्योंकि यू हैव टू लूज द फियर ऑफ व्हाट? एग्जामिनेशन. समझ में आ रहा है? एंड आई एम तो ऑलवेज देयर. मैं तो तुम्हें हेल्प करवा ही दूंगा कि भैया ये क्वेश्चन आया तो ऐसे करना है. आई विल टेल यू ऑन द लास्ट फ्यू डेज व्हेन वी विल बी लेफ्ट विद, आई विल कीप ऑन कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग ऑन योर प्रेजेंटेशन. आई विल टेल यू कि करेक्ट इनकरेक्ट आएगा तो हाउ टू आंसर, शॉर्ट नोट आएगा तो हाउ टू आंसर, कमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आएगा हाउ टू आंसर, सिचुएशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आएगा तो हाउ टू आंसर. आई विल मेक यू रेडी, बट फर्स्ट कंज्यूम द सब्जेक्ट. पहले सब्जेक्ट समझना जरूरी है, देन ओनली विल बी एबल टू व्हाट? आंसर इट. इज इट क्लियर? तो लेट्स प्रोसीड टू द लास्ट टॉपिक ऑफ दिस स्टैंडर्ड. आफ्टर दिस स्टैंडर्ड विल बी ओवर. द नेम ऑफ द टॉपिक इज कि व्हाट इफ देयर इज अ चेंज इन टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन. व्हाट इफ मैनेजमेंट डिमांड्स चेंज इन टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन. अब सुनो, ये बहुत ही नॉर्मल केस है कि मैनेजमेंट समटाइम्स कॉल्स यू एंड रिक्वेस्ट यू एंड सेज दैट रोहित, आई वांट यू टू चेंज लिटिल बिट योर व्हाट? टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन. आई नो आई अग्रीड विद इट, बट नाउ आई वांट यू टू लिटिल बिट व्हाट? चेंज. अब इसके दो सिनेरियो हो सकते हैं. देयर कैन बी टू सिनेरियोस ऑफ दिस थिंग. समटाइम्स द डिमांड मेड बाय द मैनेजमेंट इज व्हाट? एक्सेप्टेबल. अगर मेरे को रीजनेबल लगा, जस्टिफाइड लगा द चेंजेस, आई विल नॉट थिंक ट्वाइस बिफोर सेइंग व्हाट? यस, आई विल एक्सेप्ट इट. बट समटाइम्स acceptable or not acceptable? Is there are two possibility? So what are the two possibilities? Sometimes the management demands are what? Acceptable, and sometimes the management demands are what? Not acceptable. अब question arise होता है, sir, when acceptable? When not acceptable? Acceptable when he is not telling me to compromise my IOI. When he is not putting such demand which is pushing me to compromise my what? IOI. Then it is acceptable. What is IOI? Integrity. I mean to say, if he's bringing some changes which is telling me ki Rohit, you have to be inobjective, you have to be dishonest, and you have to be dependent, I will simply say no. But if it is not affecting my integrity, if it is not affecting my objectivity, if it is not affecting my independence, so I will say yes. Reason number one, if their demand is looking what? Reasonable and justified. What it is looking? तो अब आपको क्या करना है? Simply accept the engagement. What is answer? And continue to audit. ये है इसका आंसर. समझ में आ गया? अब बताओ, what is the question now? Read the question again. What if management demands changes in terms and sometimes acceptable, sometimes when acceptable, when the change is not compromising my IOI, integrity, objectivity, independence. Is it still the same or not? Second, it is looking reasonable and justified. Then what is my opinion? I will accept the engagement, accept the change and continue to, इसका मतलब मैं ऑडिट अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर को एक्सेप्ट कर लूंगा. आप समझ में आ गया? ध्यान से सुना मेरे बार, मैंने क्या बोला. अब मैं तुम्हें एग्जांपल के थ्रू बताता हूं. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल, मैंने अपने लेटर में लिख के भेजा, सर मॉर्निंग 10 to 2 आई विल कम. व्हाट इज द टाइमिंग? After half an hour, they called me and they said that Rohit, we would like to make some minor changes in that. मैंने कहा सर बोलो. कहता सर instead of 10 to 2, can you come from 3 to 7? Then obviously I'll be curious. I will ask why. वो बोल रहा कि सर 10 to 2 is our peak business working hours. Is our what? If you will come, we will get little bit disturbed and our disturbance को keep aside. We will not be able to give you the assistance what you are looking for. Then you will make a face and say that कि management is not working properly, management is not responding. So it's better to avoid that. Instead of coming from 10 to 2, you better come from. अब बताओ, is he asking me to compromise anything or everything is great? Tell me what he is telling me. To change the timings of audit. Instead of 10 to 2, he wants me to come from. अब बताओ, is my IOI getting affected? Is it looking reasonable? Yes. Is it looking justified? What is your answer? Accept the engagement, continue to audit and accept what? Audit appointment letter. अब पता है पहला लेटर क्या है? AEL. दूसरा लेटर क्या है? AAL. Audit appointment letter. अब अपन चलते हैं दूसरी साइड. दूसरी साइड मोर क्रिटिकल है. ध्यान से सुनना. I'm putting it in a different color so that you can differentiate it. ध्यान से सुनो. Not acceptable. Now I sent my letter. And within 1 hour again they called. Rohit, what you wrote in that? मैंने कहा sir, you wrote that you will get full access to our books of accounts and you also want to access our what? Financial statements. You want to access our employees internal. Everything is fine. But in this books of accounts, we can't show you कैश रजिस्टर. सॉरी, हमारी मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसी है कि वी कांट शो यू विच रजिस्टर. मैं बोला कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. एसीपी प्रद्युमन आ रहा है अभी अंदर से कि भाई यू आर रेडी टू शो मी एवरीथिंग एक्सेप्ट व्हाट. अब मैंने उनको पूछा, मैंने कहा क्यों नहीं. डिड द आंसर? इज इट लुकिंग रीजनेबल और अनरीजनेबल? Is this demand looking justified? No. And are they asking me to compromise my what? Integrity, objectivity and independence? Yes. Because I know that and you will come to know that when you will do this chapter. Which chapter? PGBP. Sorry, PBGP नहीं. PGBP chapter. आपके tax में when you will do, उसमें आप एक section पढ़ोगे, section number 40. Any cash payment made more than what? 10,000 is allowed or disallowed? I wanted to check that. But are they showing or not showing me? अब ध्यान से सुनो. Now please tell me, is it affecting your IOI? Yes. Is it looking reasonable or unreasonable? And looking what? Unjustified. अब क्या करना है? What we wrote on the other side. Accept the engagement. यहां पे हम रिजेक्ट नहीं करेंगे. We will do one thing. We will raise this issue with TCWG now. We will raise this issue with whom? TCW. Are you getting the point? पहले तो ये मैटर करता है कि when did they ask? ध्यान से सुनना. Did they ask it before starting the audit or did they ask this what? After starting the audit. What is the difference between these 2 points? Where there is a little ray of hope. When you can leave the engagement before. अभी तक आपने अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. If they are showing their true colors when, तो आप एक काम करो, ये मैटर को लेके जाओ किसके पास? TCWG के पास. What is TCWG? Those charged with governor. Tell them that I was talking to your management. They told me that कि cash register not available. तो TCWG is better than what? Management. Are they upper hand? तो मैंने दिया, sir please tell your management कि they can't do like this. Please resolve the issue. अब TCWG also may give you the two replies. Either TCWG will agree with you or TCWG will what? Disagree. What do you mean by disagree? Helping or not helping? अगर TCWG ने मेरा मैटर रिजॉल्व कर दिया तो बॉस सेम. What is same? Accept the engagement, continue to audit, accept the audit appointment letter. Do I have any problem or no problem? No problem. There was an issue. I went to whom? TCWG. They resolved my issue. Now there is no problem. Issue is resolved. Correct. But what if TCWG is saying no? Then withdraw the engagement. What is the word? What do you mean by withdraw the engagement? Did I accept the appointment letter or not accepted? Stop there itself. Don't continue with the terms and condition. बातचीत करना बंद, सब कुछ बंद. Sir, okay, you are unable to help me, but sorry, I can't compromise my IOI because these are my basic principles governing and audit. तो sorry, I can't continue with you. अब यहां पे आप डिसकंटिन्यू कर सकते हो. क्यों? क्योंकि यू एक्सेप्टेड अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर नॉट. क्योंकि ऑल दैट वाज हैपनिंग व्हेन बिफोर. आप समझ में आया? बट समटाइम्स मैनेजमेंट आर वेरी क्लेवर. दे विल स्टार्ट शोइंग देयर ट्रू कलर्स व्हेन आफ्टर अपॉइंटमेंट. अब उन्होंने अगर आफ्टर स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द ऑडिट दे टेल मी withdrawal is an option or not an option, but God has given me tools, modified or unmodified. मेरे पास रिपोर्ट भी तो है. तो मेरे पास कौन सी रिपोर्ट है? मॉडिफाई योर रिपोर्ट. और मॉडिफाई योर रिपोर्ट मतलब क्या? क्वालिफाइड एडवर्स डिस्क्लेमर. इसको लिखेंगे एज पर SA 705. व्हाट इज द नंबर? 70. देखो ऐसा नहीं है कि यू आर हेल्पलेस. यू स्टिल हैव अ टूल इन योर हैंड. आपका सबसे बड़ा टूल आपकी रिपोर्ट है, विच विल बी यूज्ड बाय हुम? लेंडर्स, यूजर्स. सो मेनी पीपल आर नॉट. अब सोचो आप उसमें नेगेटिव ओपिनियन दे दो. क्या ओपिनियन दे दो? कि आई वॉज अबाउट टू वेरीफाई द कैश रजिस्टर, दे डिड नॉट मेक मी वेरीफाई. अब मेरे को ये बताओ, हाउ शेयर होल्डर्स, यूजर्स, लेंडर्स विल गेट अ पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट और नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट? Is the share price, is the sentiment in the market will go up or down? Down. तो ये ज्यादा डैमेजिंग है. If I'll give a which report? Negative. तो कभी भी याद रखना, either you are after the appointment or before the appointment. आप हमेशा superior ही रहोगे. Before appointment आप छोड़ दो. लेकिन अगर these kind of situations comes to you when after appointment, then you always have an option to modify your what? Report. Either qualified, adverse और disclaimer. This is what the conclusion of the whole discussion. समझ में आया? अब बताओ, मैं तुम्हें सिचुएशन दे रहा हूं. What if the management demands the changes in terms and condition? क्या करोगे आप? बताओ क्या करोगे? देखेंगे. Sometimes acceptable. When acceptable? When the demand raised by the management is looking justified, reasonable, and is not affecting my independence, objectivity, integrity, I would love to continue the engagement, accept the appointment letter, and continue to audit. Correct? Situation arises when not acceptable, when they're telling me to compromise my what? IOI, looking unjustified and looking what? Unreasonable. I will not panic. I will see when they are demanding. Are they demanding it before or after? If it is before wala case, I will raise this issue with whom? TCW. TCWG may agree with me, disagree. अगर उन्होंने मेरा मैटर रिजॉल्व कर दिया तो कंटिन्यू करेंगे. अनरिजॉल्व हुआ तो डिसकंटिन्यू कर देंगे. एम आई करेक्ट? विड्रॉ कर लेंगे. बट इफ दिस सिचुएशन कम्स आफ्टर एक्सेप्टिंग द अपॉइंटमेंट, तो बॉस, नो वन टू टॉक. नाइदर TCWG can do anything now nor management. Are you getting the point? Then in that case I have my tool. I will modify my opinion, either qualified, adverse or. अब समझ में आ रहा है? जब मैं तुम्हें पढ़ा रहा था कि what do you mean by modified report and what do you mean by unmodified. Still I'm not becoming specific कि what to do, qualified, adverse or disclaimer, because this is not the right time to understand that. और तुम्हें एक टिप देता हूं एग्जाम में. अगर एग्जाम में आप भूल गए कि सर क्वालिफाई लिखना है, एडवर्स लिखना है या डिस्क्लेमर, बेटर कौन सा वर्ड लिखे हो? मॉडिफाई. Let the examiner be in the guessing situation कि what you wanted to say. करेक्ट है नहीं है? देखो, CA इंटर ऑडिट एग्जाम इज ऑल अबाउट माइंड गेम. It is a fight going on between you and ICAI. Who will win? That you will decide. ICAI आपको कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिचुएशन देगा, आपको वो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिचुएशन को अनकॉम्प्लिकेट करना है. Are you getting it? अगर आपने अच्छे से आंसर दे दिया, अब देखो जैसे अकाउंट्स में भी यही टिप है. अब मेरे को ये बताओ, आई थिंक यू ऑल विल अग्री विद मी, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल डोंट अग्री विद देयर बैलेंस शीट. तुम्हारी बैलेंस शीट अग्री नहीं होती. मैं तुम्हें बेस्ट तरीका बताऊं, दोनों साइड पे सेम बैलेंस लिख के आ जाओ, इवन इफ इट इज नॉट डिसएग्री. सर ऐसे कैसे लिख देंगे? डू यू थिंक दैट ही इज हैविंग इनफ टाइम टू टेक कैलकुलेटर? वो तुम्हारी बैलेंस शीट का टोटल करेगा? नहीं, यही माइंड गेम है. और डोंट राइट द बैलेंस. What is the best? Don't write the balance. Again, he has to take what? Calculator. Or this much time he does not have because it takes only 6 minutes to evaluate your 36 pages of answer sheet. 6 मिनट में आपका पूरा आंसर शीट इवेल्युएट होता है 70 to 100 मार्क्स का. 6 minutes only you get which will either make you or break you. सिंपल सी बात है. अगर वो 6 मिनट्स में आपने एग्जामिनर को इंप्रेस कर दिया तो बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आ जाएंगे. अदरवाइज आफ्टर एवरी नवंबर देयर इज अ मे, आफ्टर एवरी मे वो चलता ही रहेगा सिलसिला. ICAI विल कीप ऑन आस्किंग यू कम अगेन, CA कम अगेन. CA का लोगो देखा आपने नया? मस्त बनाया नहीं? आई थिंक इंडियन फ्लैग दे ट्राई टू मेक इट इन बिटवीन व्हाइट पोर्शन दे लेफ्ट अबव. Nice. But anyways, if you want that, you have to study this first. समझ में आ रहा है? अब बताओ, कोई doubt in this whole standard? Perfectly understood standard. This is what brings an end to your standard called essay number 210. Meaning, agreeing to. It means these are the 5 set of questions they may ask you from this standard. What is the meaning of this? Second thing, how many number of copies? Third thing, purpose of this letter. Fourth thing, is this letter what in nature? Recurring. And the fifth thing, what if the management asks you to change some terms and conditions? I hope you know everything. ठीक है, इसको लिखेंगे अपन मंडे को. ठीक है, मंडे कल क्लास है. Which class you have? Maybe next Sunday onwards I will also be taking class. अरे समझा करो बहनों और भाइयों, समझो अपने को एग्जाम जितना जल्दी पोर्शन खत्म करेंगे उतना जल्दी रिवीजन का टाइम मिलेगा ना. या तुम्हें भी नवंबर में करना है? नहीं करना ना? हाँ, तो बस जो मैं बोल रहा हूं अपन देखेंगे. इतना है नहीं, संडे को जस्ट ऐसे टच अप 2 hours 3 hours. And because I might be taking some offs in January, that's the reason I have to compensate that classes by taking Sundays before, right? चलो, thank you so much. See you guys tomorrow. कल मिलते हैं. कल नहीं मिलेंगे, परसों मिलते हैं. अगले संडे से मिलेंगे.